to arrive. So we've got whatever we're using on our mat for rolling our feet out, but we're just standing for a moment and just doing a check-in to see what is arriving with us in our practice. So as we inhale, let the exhale out the mouth. Do that a couple times. Notice if you need to do a little shifting from right foot to left foot. Sometimes just even picking up the toes and spreading them, and then allowing the toes to anchor back on the floor. You might even feel that invitation of seeing if the palms are facing back or they're facing to the body. You might feel the whole arm bone externally rotate, and that would mean your palms would face forward. It just opens the chest a tiny bit, just connecting all the way through the front of the chest, down through the arm. You can do a few things to release arm and side body. And then when you feel ready, checking in which foot wants to be your standing and which foot wants to receive the rolling of the foot. So take that standing foot, pressing it down, and really feeling that we bring in that transverse abdominis, so the origination of the transverse, which is our deepest core muscles in the back, and it wraps around, and the fibers of the muscle are going horizontally. And it connects it from your pubic bone all the way up to your xiphoid process. So as you're pressing down, you're feeling this gather in, almost like we're pulling each side of the rib cage in, and there has to be a lifting up from the lower belly through the pubic bone. And you float around and then you start to roll. And we're taking time as each of us know our ball rolling, whether we're using the dowel, to just check in, just coming in for us. Pause when the body wants you to pause. Be mindful that the breath is there the whole time. Sometimes that exhalation at the mouth comes in to release what is not needed from the body. I always hear my teacher's voice in my head whenever I say that cue, because release is something we need to learn. And it's not something that we're kind of like, yeah, that, is just there with us. It's that release. And there's always layers to a release. So when we release, then there's another layer. And then there's another layer. And it depends how many kind of layers we've built up in that specific area. Just take time to meet ourselves. And always noticing as you meet yourself. So maybe we've done foot rolling for quite a while and we've kind of set a pattern on how we foot roll. See if you can switch it up a little bit. And so the fascia appreciates just a little bit of a shift. So one thing I did, instead of having the ball, so I have the dowel, right across my foot, I've angled my foot a little bit. And so then the dowel's underneath it. And so I'm just affecting the fascia in a little bit of a different way. And you might feel that the body is a little bit of a different pattern of holding that you can address in the foot. And take note when one side is complete, so that will come whenever you're ready. And then you can go into balancing on the other side. Take that time to feel the down, the up, the wrapping of the transverse abdominis from back body to front body. So we're very intentional in our movement. It's also fun every once in a while to change the device that you use for ball rolling. So sometimes you use the dowel, sometimes you use a ball, sometimes it's a squash ball. You've got the two taped balls, sometimes called the peanut. And they're in the basket if you want one. And just feel what needs to be completed on the feet for the foot rolling. Once you feel that your foot rolling is complete, I'm just going to let that ball or that dowel be moved off to the side. And we're going to go into a forward fold. So when you're ready, planting the feet so that they're hip width apart, feeling the intention of all the toes and the heels coming in. Take an exhale, feel the awareness of the transverse abdomen. So that's gathering in, but there's also an internal lift up through the body. And then as you inhale, see, do the arms want to come up a little bit? As you bring the arms up, just watch that the rib cage isn't moving too far forward over the rib cage, or sorry, over the pelvis. So keep the ribs kind of drawing in and down. And then as the weight shifts back on the heels, you'll feel your pelvis move back. It's going to widen through the sit bones, and then it's going to start to lift up. And that'll bring you down, and you can come down halfway, partway. Okay, feel the ribs gather. You can fold a little bit more. You can just swing the arms. We're just going to do a little bit of shoulder release here. And so when we've got the arms dangling in space, it's a really nice way to nourish just all the ligamentous fascial capsule that wraps around the ball of the humerus. It's called the glenoid. And so just feeling the rotation through each arm. You might have both arms flowing at the same time. You might just pause and just check in with one arm, and the other. Keep the hands soft. Yeah, let the neck go. So the head, sometimes when we go into a forward fold, we hold the head up to look in front of us. So if you just start to let the neck go, then it will help to release
the upper thoracic spine into the neck and also the skull.
Yeah, good. And then you'll feel if you want to go a little bit deeper, if you're ready to come up. So just take that mindful awareness of rooting down as you inhale and rise up, and maybe the arms come up, maybe they don't. We're just going to go right into a little lateral release here. So you might hold the arm and gently tug. You might just let it come over. You might touch the shoulder. The one that I wanted to bring back in today a little bit to help just feel a release through the neck is just interlacing the hands on the back of the skull. And then you just let the elbows gather a little bit. And there's a very gentle pressure of the hands into the skull and the skull into the hands. So it's even. It almost feels like you're floating a little bit when you've got it. And then you can keep that gentle, even pressure back in front. It's an isometric awareness for the upper body. You lengthen up through each elbow. And just checking in. You feel things sliding. It feels like there's a little bit of catching or tugging. Good, and then we'll just release the hands. So you've got your fingers interlaced, so just keep them interlaced and bring them in front of you so the palms face your heart. And then we're going to just push it away. Good, and just take a moment here as you bend the knees a tiny bit. We'll just do this from the side. You're going to lean back through your shoulder blades. So I want you to feel that release of the whole back line. And as you press forward, the head may lower. Just let the head follow whatever it wants to do. And then check in, do the arms. Want to move a little bit spontaneously. I'll give a few directions of movement. You might feel the chest open up a little bit to the side and then fold back down and then open up. So I'm just trying to bring you to mindfully check in with the body and just do a little movement that is out of the ordinary of what you normally do. A little bit of play and self-discovery. Keep rooting into your feet. Keep your breath supporting you. Nice. And whenever that's ready to release, just let the hands shake out, open and close the palms of the hands a few times. Okay, and we're going to use the ball for a little bit of support. So if you want to use the block in between the legs, you can. If you want to use the inflated ball, so you want to check in. Does it want to be inner thigh? Do you want to come up a little bit closer to the area of the pelvic floor where you put the ball? So your choice. Okay, and I'm going to turn sideways for this one. We're just going to start moving the arm. So you choose which arm, and you're just going to let the arm swing. Keep squeezing the ball. Want to bring that core awareness in to support. So the shoulder girdle rests upon the support of the lower body. So does the neck. So does the head. And so just let the arms swing. And if you go into a circle, great. If you don't, great. You just let come in whatever wants to be there. Just give some time because we're just warming up the synovial fluid. And you'll notice if you do go into a rotation, you can feel the body wanting to shift. It's nice just to feel both arms. Let one arm go for as long as it wants to. feel the difference between right or left. And then let the other arm come in. If you have an injury or you've come in and one shoulder is speaking to you, just take a little bit more time to warm it up. Sometimes we want to rush it to go into a full rotation, but sometimes the shoulder doesn't even want to do that. So just see, what does it want to do? Listening. Good. Then you might even feel, how does it feel to swing both arms? You don't even need to circle them, let them move. It might even be across in front and across and back. Feel the shoulder blades as the arms go back, come together. Releasing through the rotator cuff and in between the shoulder blades, which is a tricky space to get. You just want to loosen up the fascia. A moment to feel that, and then just pause. Enjoy the energy that's here. Created a lot of energy through the chest, the neck, up into the head. So keep aware of your feet. And we're going to go into chair pose and then go into tippy toes. So you might feel, that requires me to have a little bit of stability, maybe being close to the wall if you want, feet hip width apart. You're going to go into chair. So really sit the buttocks back and down, squeeze the ball, feel the heart lift, but also gathering the transverse, wrapping from back body to front, and then lifting up of the lower belly inside the whole body. And maybe the arms float up. And then see, you just kind of pause here. You might just hold it. You might even have a little pulsating up and down. And then we're going to come up onto the toes. So just watch, because there's an external rotation that wants to come in the legs. So you've got to keep all the toes leaning down as the heels lift. So especially the big toes. So you want to think that you're really squeezing that ball to come up. And sometimes the arms come up, sometimes they don't. Feel like a string is pulling out the crown of the head. And then you're going to come and sit down again. And we're going to do that a couple times. So as you rise up, sense that. And then noticing as you sit down, this is us sitting down into a chair. We can feel, as you come down a little bit farther, sometimes you may even notice the torso dropping. And then some of you may even, as you squat, be able to lift the whole trunk with the pelvis, kind of reaching down, lifting up through the belly. And then notice what it feels like to fold down. Here's us going down to pick something up. Just play a little bit up onto the toes when you're ready. And then one more time down into chair. Noticing for you, how do you come down? What are your legs doing? And then when it's done for you, and take your time if you want to do another flow, shake it out, release the ball. Let's do a few swinging twists before we go into some release of the legs, and I want to release side body a little bit deeper. We're going to do a flow. Let that swinging come in. As you slow it down. A moment as you find stillness, just to allow the whole arm and the shoulder to externally rotate a little bit so the palm faces forward. Just a little check-in now. Since we brought some energy into lower body, upper body, we've hydrated the fascia. We've added a little bit of play, which is creating that shearing motion on the fascia, which helps to release longer held postures, longer held patterns of movement. Maybe some old injuries. You might feel energy moving in some areas that maybe felt a little bit more held or stagnant when you first arrived. Okay, now we're going to free it through the body. We're going to just let the arms relax. We're going to find the feet. So we're going to open up 3 or 3.5 feet. Some of us might even go 4. Good. We're going to start with right foot. So you're going to turn right foot out. Now you're going to find your heel. So there's an option heel. Your heel lined up with the front heel lined up with back heel, or front heel lined up with inner arch. And then you're going to angle the left heel back so the toes of the back foot angle in a little bit. It's a little internal rotation for this leg. And then you're going to bend the front knee. So warrior 2. Arms come up. If the arms don't want to come up, maybe just one doesn't want to. Maybe both do. And notice if as you press down, some of you like to spread the mat apart. We're going to go into exalted warrior. Left hand down to the thigh, right palm reaches up. Torso extends up. Breath inhales. Exhale as you hold here. Take a few breaths. Inhale, exhale. Notice, is my front knee rolling in at all? Lean back through your right thigh, right knee. Good. Now we're going to come back into warrior 2. Now we're going to inhale. And you're going to reach through the body. So like you're reaching and extending for something good. And you're going to bring the arm down. So some of you, you can lightly hold here. Some of us want to drop our weight. But if you do that, I want you to push away so you're not collapsing through the shoulder. Other option is the forearm leans into the knee leans into the forearm. Good. Left arm may come up. It may rest on the lower back. Yeah, you got it. Holding a little bit more, feel the transverse wrapping from back body to front body, lift up through your internal core line. Then you're going to come up, release. Okay, feel the feet heel toe together, just going to shake them out. Hey, in between, we're going to interlace our fingers behind us, draw down with the hands. Feel the chest open. Just breathe here for a few breaths. Notice all your toes and heels. Relax your shoulders down. Do a little opening first. A movement, so this is optional. You can turn your head if you want, very gently from left to right. Exhale as you come to one side. You can go half the distance. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. And then you're going to release. Okay, before we go into the other side, do a few ankle circles. So you might keep toes on the floor. You might decide that you want to do a little balance, which we're going to go into after the side. You might circle one direction and the other. Remember, option to stay on the floor. Do both ankles. Once you've finished each side, you're going to widen the feet again. We're going to do our flow on the other side. So that means left foot turns out, right heel. You're going to angle it back, slight internal rotation. Check in if that front heel wants to walk in a little bit, line up with the inner arch. Front knee bends, arms float up. Let's check the palm position in this one. Palms can be down, they can face forward, they can also face up. Notice which one speaks to you. Check your knee is flowing over that second and third toe. Feel if you want to spread the mat apart. Good. Watch your knees not rolling in. Front knee's got to press back. There it is, Mom. Okay, so right hand down to the right leg. Left arm, palm up if it's not. Inhale. Reaching up. Now, this is when the front knee wants to roll in. Press the front leg and thigh back. Feel the wrapping from back body to front body. Releasing side body, but also releasing the quadratus labora muscle. When you're ready, you're going to windmill. Inhale, exhale. Down. If you do rest the forearm on the leg, press a little bit into the forearm, into the leg to open the chest. Not, you can have the arms straight, leg and arm leaning into each other. If this arm doesn't feel good in line with the shoulders, just drop it down. Sometimes back of the hand, helpful. Any strain in the neck, you can also look down at your foot. Yeah, we're gonna come up. This time we're gonna stay in a wide area of our feet. So as you come up, you're just gonna point the toes forward. Angle the heels out a little bit so you have a nice balance of outer edge. Yeah, okay, good. Now you're gonna interlace your hands behind you without thinking about it. That's what you did before. So now you're gonna switch how you interlace. So if you were there, you're gonna switch how your fingers interlace. So yeah, I know. Yeah, sometimes you have to think about it. Yeah. If you just do it without thinking about it, that's normally how you do it. And then you just want to switch. You change positions. So the other thumb is going to fold in front of the other thumb, right? So it's just shifting. Okay. Okay. So all the times that I've given that cue, I think you probably have, and you just maybe haven't noticed it. Okay, so I'm gonna just turn a little bit so you can see. You're gonna once again root into all the toes, the heel. You're gonna draw down. You're gonna let, if the heart wants to open, shoulders, collarbone, front of the chest. Breathe here. Keep the thighs gently internally rotating a little bit, lifting up through the top of the head. Relax the shoulders down. Okay, we're going to go into releasing that, bringing the arms out to the side. As you exhale, it's really important that we gather those front ribs. You're going to come down to a halfway position. I want you to reach your arms, fingers out to the side. See if you can gather your ribs, reach back through your pelvis, out through the spine, out through the crown of the head. Breathe here for a couple breaths. We're going to bring the right hand down. So we didn't bring a block in today. You might find you can touch the floor. If you can't, bring the right hand to the left shin. Okay, then you're going to twist from the pelvis through the spine, twisting gently to the left. Left arm may stay up, or hand goes on your lower back. Watch, because your tendency is going to be heel heavy. Keep the toes engaging. When you're ready, inhale, hand comes through center. Some of you that can touch the floor, left hand on the floor or left hand on the right leg. Feel your pelvis turn a little bit through the lower back, middle back, spiraling up the spine, neck and head if you choose. Right arm can go up or rest on your lower back. Just releasing hamstrings and shoulder blades. Okay, we're going to flow in between sides. Feel your whole spine, feeling that spiral rotation. Pelvis leads, then it flows up through the spine. Your exhale supports you each time you move into the twist. Inhale floats you through center. If you want at any time, you can just pause. You can rest with your hands down on the floor, on your feet, on your ankles. You can bend the knees and either bring your forearms onto the thighs too, if you don't want to be too low. This is a nice chance to elongate the spine. So just notice if you're keeping the head chronically held upward and you're wanting to look forward, release it. The gaze should be in between your legs. One more breath. Start to bend the knees. Okay, feel the legs engage. If you need a little bit more support, hands can be on the thighs. You're going to press down through the feet. Slowly come up. Okay, we're going to heel toe the feet together. Good, nice. Okay, shake it out. So we're going to go into eagle. And last week we did this one at the wall. Okay, so you might want to go to the wall, or you might feel you want to just do it in the center of the room. So giving options. If you're choosing wall, then the pelvis is back towards the wall, feet are hip width apart. Block can be beside the right foot. If you're wanting to do it in the middle of the room, you can choose, do I want to block? If you want to try, you can put the block by the right foot. The right foot is our standing foot here. Okay, so if you're leaning against the wall, you're pressing your pelvis back into the wall. Right foot pressing into the wall. Left foot lifts. So let's just try the leg first. Just bring the leg up. See how that feels. Cross it over. Some of you might touch the block. Okay. See, did my hips twist at all? If so, try to bring them square. Squeeze the inner thighs. Good. Find a focus point and see if you can bring your arms up. We're going to cross right arm over left. Give ourselves a hug to start. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Good. Some of you may bring the forearms up. Garudasana. Let's see if you can bend your knees into the squat a little bit more. Your standing leg should be quite bent in this one. Good, then you're going to straighten the standing leg, release the left foot, release the arms down. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, heart. Good, shake it out. Okay, let's try other side. With or without the block. You take a moment to ground. Left foot is the standing, so we do that lifting of the heel, pressing down. Seeing if you can lift that leg up. This is where we start class always, and then you want to bend your standing leg. And now I notice I'm twisted in my hips, so I'm going to square them. And when your arms float up, it's left, wrapping on top of right this time. Good, you're going to pause there. I'm just going to show it at the wall. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. You know when you're ready to come out. There's a deep core strengthening. Shake it out. Now, before we get onto the floor, let's just do a few shoulder rolls. Okay. That was a good transition from last week to this week, right? We all did it in the middle. Okay, so as we bend the knees, we're going to press down. Inhale, draw the shoulders up. Feel a little squeeze, rotate, exhale down. Good. Inhale, exhale. Let that release come in. One of the focus for today, a little bit of play. Feeling that we're aware of the whole body. And then when you're ready, switch directions. So you're going to roll forward, up, forward, down. Breath can be out the mouth, letting go of what's no longer needed. If you choose, drawing the shoulders up, doing a little squeeze, and then release, drop. You might do that a couple more times. Squeeze, release. See if you want to do a pursed lip breath and slowly lower, or just stay with the drop. Take a moment, check in how you feel. Let the palms, the arms externally rotate, palms face forward. A little check in before we leave standing to the floor. Feel how your feet touching the floor. Notice your breath. Feel if the body is still or if there's a little sway. Both are welcome. Another few rounds. See if you can create some ease, but also keep your integrity. So where do you feel your body gripping and holding? Sometimes when I feel my shoulders grip and hold, I go below and I feel, how can I create integrity in the lower part of the body? The shoulders or the neck can relax upon that support. Okay, we're going to flow down now towards the floor. So you're going to find your short end of the mat facing one direction. Check you've got nothing on your mat. Hands come to heart. Notice your exhale. Feel the weight drop down through the body into the feet. And then just feel your inhale. Notice how the energy rises up. Your body expands and fills with vitality. And as you exhale, whenever that is, just let the arms release down by your side. Press the feet into the floor. Let the arms float up. Maybe gaze follows. Exhale. Fold down into Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. So the weight shifts back a little bit to come forward, but then once you find your place of resting, you want to even that weight out. Let the head go. Sometimes we're always lifting the head or holding it, asking the neck muscles to engage. And we're going to bend the knees generously to plant the hands the width of the mat. Step back, one foot, the other foot, lying downward dog. Take a moment to be here. Walk it out if you want. Bending one knee, releasing the other heel, pushing the floor away, making sure that the thumb, the index finger, the knuckle of the index is pressing into the floor. Yeah, good. You'll travel down to child's pose when you're ready, but some of you might want to linger here. Once you come into child's pose, check in if the knees want to widen. Sometimes even just coming off the knees is helpful. See how far the pelvis wants to drop back before the torso settles.
If the head is not on the floor, check in. Can you support the head with your hands, a block? Do you want to shift the arms to one side? This is really good for getting into the side of the ribs, but also going down into the QL, into the pelvis. Breathe through the side that you're elongating. And then notice that level of invitation we brought in today of the exhale release. You stay on one side for as long as you want. You transfer through center. You go to the other side. Nice. When you're ready, no rush. You're going to just come up onto your hands and knees and just do a few spinal waves. If you want to be on elbows and knees, feel free, but just stack your hands under the shoulders or the elbows. Start with that exhale from the pelvis reaching down, the back rounds through the lower back. Feel it go into the lower ribs, then the shoulder blades pull apart, then the upper back, then the neck and the head let go. So the movement starts at the pelvis and ripples up the spine as you go into extension. So sit bones will lift, lower back will curve, going into the ribs, the shoulder blades. Try not to lift the head too high. Think of keeping the back of the neck long and widen. Our neck has probably the most flexibility out of any part of our spine. And so we do tend to overuse it. So you can always check in as you're moving. Am I just moving through the neck? And I let the whole spine come in to support the neck. And then I just want you to check in. If you have the top of the feet on the floor, stay there. If you want to try to just release the toes, you can tuck the toes over under, sorry, of one foot and then the other foot. So the toes are tucked under. And then just shift back a little bit and forward. If you have any arthritis in the toes, just don't go back so far. We're just going to feel a little release to the top of the foot. Good. Release that. Tap the top of the feet on the floor just to let that go. And then we're going to roll over onto one hip and we're going to sit for a moment. So checking in, do you want to sit cross-legged? Do you want to sit up on a bolster, on a block? Okay, and we're going to use either a strap or if you want to use your dowel, you can use that. You just want to have them close by. If you're using your strap, it's not looped, it's just open, and you're putting it on the right shoulder. Now, one thing is really important here as you're sitting to watch through this whole process that we're not posterior tilting our pelvis and dropping the whole front of the body. So if that's going to be tricky to sit, then sit up onto a little bit of height. You can also choose to extend one leg. And if you find that you have any little discomfort through the knee or you want to release the back of the knee, you can always put a slow-mo behind it. Okay, just relax. Keep feeling the front and the back body evenly lengthened here. So we're going to bring the right arm out to the side. Palm's going to face forward to start. Then we're going to turn the palm down. The palm's going to face back. Yeah, good. And yeah, we're going to bring it behind us. We're going to do right arm first. We're going to cross it behind the back. So I'll show this because it's a little bit tricky. And then I just want you to notice as you do this, sometimes what we do is we thrust the rib cage forward to get the twist or to get the length behind us. So you're just going to pause here. And I just want you to notice the feeling of the front of the shoulder. Settle your ribs back. One thing I like with the dowel here, and I'm going to change it actually. Let's release that. Let's go into the left arm first because I want to bring in the dowel for some of this. So you're going to bring in left arm, reach it up, turn the palm behind you and touch the shoulder. So it's an internal rotation. Right hand is going to reach up through the tricep. Now let the ball of the shoulder drop into the socket. Good. Just take time to be there. Releasing tricep. Feeling this internal rotation of the shoulder. Good. Now we're going to go into the release of the back. So if you have a dowel, you can always put it behind you. You can always hold it as well. So you can give it to this left hand to hold, or some of you might reach it out to the side. If you're just using a strap, okay, the strap, you just want to move it because we change shoulders onto the left shoulder. Okay, so your choice. You've got the dowel. You're going to bring it behind you. So palm is facing, and then let it come up. Then you're going to grab hold of it and you're going to lean back into it. You can even slide it up because it can support your head as well, which is kind of fun. If you're using the strap, you can also lean into it. Yeah, good. Feel the breath here. So left arm is releasing tricep, internally rotating. Keep internally rotating that left arm. Right arm is releasing the top of the deltoid. And then you're going to release. Do a few shoulder rolls. I've also moved into a kneeling position, which is another variation. It's quite hard on the knees. Okay, how was that? Okay. For a while, we did the legs there. Do you remember? We did the legs. So, which I think is irrational in this pose, but just to show, this is what the legs are doing as the arms are doing that, right? Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, lower body and upper body. But I thought, let's switch it and let's do the arms first and then let's go into the legs because we haven't done the legs in a little bit. But I think it's a really nice pose to get into. Okay, so this means that our right arm is the one that is going to be coming up this time. Palm turns behind you. The hand touches the shoulder. The left hand touches the tricep, lengthening up. Internally rotate that right shoulder. Good. Just feel that. Notice some of us have the dowel, but some of us have the strap. So if you're feeling, I think I want to use the strap this one, you can put it on your shoulder. Those of you that are wanting to use the dowel, you're going to reach the dowel out to the side, the palms facing back, and then you're bringing that across your back and up so that your right hand is grabbing hold of the dowel. If not, you're not using the dowel. Your right hand is grabbing the strap and your left hand is grabbing the strap. And then we can see, what's the torso doing? How you doing, Mom? Yeah, so your right arm, you're holding the strap, right? Just let it go. Bring the right arm up, turn the palm to face the wall behind you and touch your shoulder. There's the strap. That's where you hold on to the strap. There you go. Yeah, and then the other arm holds it down below. You release when you're ready. You've been there for a while already. Yeah, there it is. Okay. How did that feel? Okay. How did the dowel feel? Because we didn't use the dowel last time. We used the strap, right? Yeah, it is, right? Because you can lean into it, right? A little bit more of a solid quality. Yeah. So let's shake out the legs. Okay, so we're going to do a little hip release now. So let's stay wide with the feet. We're just going to go into this slowly. So remember, as we've talked about, when we want to come forward, we want to check in. Are the heels planted on the ground? Are the toes facing upright? Now, we're just going to rock a little bit from left to right. Good. Glad, Alexandra, you're rolling now. And then see, as the pelvis is gently tilting forward, can you come down a little bit? You might even feel a little rotation from right, inhale, left. And you can open up a little bit, just getting into the QL a tiny bit. Good. And then as you come up, we're going to take the right leg, we're going to cross it over. And so some of us might just stay here. And we're going to do a little twist. So I'm going to turn around. Right hand can be behind you. If you feel, I think I can go a little bit deeper in this twist, you're going to lean over onto your left hand to sweep that right leg around. Now, your goal is to try to get that right hip to the floor. So if it's not happening, right? Yeah, so what I did was I leaned over onto my left. Yeah, there it is. Now, if you did that and you're like, that's not working, come out, sit onto some height. For most of us, it's hard to get that, right? It shows us how tight our hips are. And then you can lean over and then see, does the right leg want to cross over? Do I want to try to bring this foot around? I'm getting caught on my mat here. And does that help to have a little bit of height? Yeah, you're going to be turning towards the leg. Yeah. So eventually that right hip should start to kind of ground. Yeah, so chip foam block is better than that 4-inch block, Peggy, which you've got. It's a black cover. Then you don't even need to. You can bring the leg straight. Yeah, so it's either straight or here. Okay, then the right hand comes behind you and there's a little pressing down into the ground. There it is. Yeah, see? Lifting up. That's really nice for you, Mom, right? You can see how it lifts through your spine. So strengthening the back. Right? And then the left hand comes around and it grabs the shin for most of us. And then you're going to twist a little bit through the pelvis, the belly, exhale, the chest. Now, don't let the head come back until you fully open the torso. A lot of the time, I like to just keep my chin in line with my heart. And this will allow the upper body, the upper back, the thoracic spine to open, where sometimes we're holding quite a bit. If we turn the head too quickly, we stop getting this opening through the chest. Good. Okay, you're going to let that go. Shake it out. Now just feel for a moment as you bring that left leg in, foreleg just in front, bring the right leg just in front. Yeah, there we go. Bring your right leg in front. Yeah, so left leg is in front, right foot is in front of the left leg. There you go. Then, not too far, you go across, or remember last time we wrapped the foot around and we did fire log. Yeah, and we did baby, right? So we held We held left foot with left hand. We held right leg. And some of us rocked. And if it doesn't work, don't do it. Some of us paused and put the foot on top of the leg. Remember, we can support here. Yeah, this one, mommy, for you, even just crossing your legs is enough. It's really tight for you, yeah. And we don't notice, huh? Can you guys feel it in the top hip? So for me, it's right. Can you guys feel it in your right hip? Seamus, where do you feel it? What's going on? So, yeah, you got it now. Left shin's in front, right leg is here, right? And then you can cross. Yeah. This is one, it's a deep hip release. Okay, we did them, we worked for weeks, right? Before. And so this kind of just shows us where we were, right? Yeah, and the hips, right? Especially if we have a curve, usually the hips are going to be really tight. So let's try the twist. So some of us are going to keep right leg forward and we're going to cross left leg on top, right? Hold on, I've got to. Yes, that's right. I just have to make sure that I'm going in the right side. It's like there we go. Sorry, I'm back on. Okay, so you can keep the leg straight, or you can lean over onto your right hand and see if the right leg wants to come over. Okay, so it's either straight or wrapped around. Left hand comes behind you. You're going to lift up. Good. You're going to inhale, exhale. You're turning towards the leg, the thighs. So you're turning to the left, pelvis, belly. Yes, you want to turn towards me, Kevin. There it is. So your other hand, your left hand's behind you, right hand is grabbing, right? Yes, there it is. Yes, you got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And try to get that left hip as much as you can, dropping weight into it. Good. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so you can come out when you're ready. Shake it out. Okay, so right leg in front. You're going to lean back a little bit and see, can I hold the left leg? Can I hold the ankle of the left leg? Some of you can hold the foot. Yeah, and you just want to rock a little bit. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, exactly. Mom, if you want to lie down, that's where we're going. Hey, and that might be enough. Sometimes we worked last time where the foot was just coming up the leg. Some of us could come a little bit farther. Some of us a little bit more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which knee? Yeah. Which one do you feel it in? In the outer knee. So I wonder if you can reach through your inner heel on. Yes, yes, there. Yeah, it's tighter, but it's not, it's releasing it and it's creating space in it, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we talked about that a little bit. There it is. If the ankle is compressing, you're going to feel it up in the knee. But the minute you reach through the inner and outer ankle, there it is, right? Yeah, right there. That is going to open the knee joint so that you don't feel it in the knee joint. But the minute you compress in the ankle, right, you're going to feel it in the knee because that's the next joint above. And so then you just want to think, oh, how can I release? Right? Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Let's release and lie down. Hey, we're going to do a nice release to end the practice today. We're going to use the last part of class just to release. So you can draw the legs up, give them a hug. Good work today. We did some deep opening.
let's end with doing some work to just release upper body, lower body. So you're going to use your strap and you're going to check in. Does my head want a little support? Do I want to have the slow-mo ball or the block close by? If you do, if you're going to use it, it's on the left side. I'll bring both of mine so I can demonstrate with both. Feel your knees bent and just land here for a moment to breathe. We're going to start by bringing the right leg in, and we're going to hold either the back of the thigh or the shin, you choose. And you're going to exhale, just draw the leg towards the belly as the belly deflates. Feel the lower back press into the floor. And then as you inhale and the belly expands, just let your thigh and your leg move away from the body. So you can do that a couple times. Exhale, move the leg towards you, belly deflates, lower back, especially on the right side, presses into the floor. Inhale as the belly expands, move your leg away. Release the whole back line. Do that a couple times. Draw it in. Lower back presses into the floor. Notice, can I press my left foot a little bit into the floor? As you inhale, thigh moves away. One last time, press left foot into the floor. Belly deflates, right thigh moves towards you. Good. Release. Externally rotate that leg so your right foot starts to come towards you. Put the strap around it. Around the big toe, the pinky toe, the mound. Extend the leg up. Slide your hands down the strap so the elbows meet the floor, the back of the upper arms, the triceps. Now feel your left foot as a support. Let your right knee bend a little bit and let the back of your pelvis become heavy on the floor. So right hip, left hip, but I also want you to notice that sacrum, that diamond, it's a downward facing. Sometimes I like to think of it as a diamond, but it's actually a triangle. Your tailbone's at the very end. Okay, so soft hands here. There's an evenness of pushing up into the strap and pulling down, and then we're going to circle the leg in the air. Just feel the whole leg moving, nourishing the ball of the hip. It's going to help to release the whole leg, go both directions. And if you do want to lower it, exhale, leg lowers. You might inhale or exhale the leg back up. Maybe you might even hold in the hamstring stretch. And to take it over to the left. So you're going to ask your body if you need a little support. Some of us put a little support underneath that left leg, left hip. So I'm using the slow-mo ball. If you don't want to come down too far, and then that right leg crosses over the body, and eventually the left hand takes the strap in both hands. If you want, you can let that left leg come all the way to the floor of the left hip. And sometimes a block on top of that left thigh so the right thigh can release it. Sometimes nothing. Okay, the right hand may just stay on the torso. You keep heavy on left side. Some of you want to do a little rotation. So you start in the pelvis and you spiral up the body. The arms go out into a T. Only go there if that feels good. And Alexandra, if you want to do any psoas release, I see you're doing figure 4. Yesterday in class, we did a lot of work through that sequence, so feel free to stay with it. Notice that you Create length through the whole back. When the body says it's ready to come up, you take that timing. So we're all going to be a little bit different. So some of us like to hover here. If you want to come up, you can go into baby pose, bend the knees. The straps stay around both the feet as you sway a little bit. The goal is to try to keep the lower back on the floor. So it is a lower back and pelvis release. But sometimes we lift the pelvis and the lower back off the floor. Just want to check in if that's happening. And then you pull down on the strap when you're done, and the feet slide together, and that right foot slips out, the left foot takes the strap. And now you're going to check in, is some of these props that I use going to be useful for the other side? If so, you're going to move them so that they're there and you don't need to search for them on your right side. And you let the hands slide down the strap, very soft hands, elbows, triceps on the floor. Feel your right foot. Take a moment to just anchor. Let the right hip, the left hip, that triangular downward pointing bone of your sacrum touch the floor. And then you circle the whole leg. One direction and the other. Let your breath coincide. Lowering the leg down when you're ready. Pushing the foot, gently tugging on the strap as you come up. It's really good for nourishing the myofascia, but also encouraging connection of feet to pelvis. But decide which way do you want to inhale and exhale. Some of you might even pause and just hold the leg up to release and stretch. You're going to cross over. So that left leg as you exhale is going to come across, and you're going to check in. Do you want to support the lower leg? Do you want anything on top of the right thigh, the left leg supporting on top? Choose, do you want to open up? You don't have to, but make sure you're opening a little bit from the pelvis, lifting up through the lower belly, letting that inner spiral come in. So the twist is slowly evolving through the whole spine. Yeah, and you decide how long you want to stay. I've got a wall here, so I'm using it with my foot. You'll know when the body feels ready to come out. Some of you feel like you want to linger here longer, so you stay. Notice if you're feeling any discomfort, check in. Is the thigh drawing back so that the ball of the left thigh bone is dropping into the hip socket? Sometimes that helps to balance that rotation. And in bringing both feet up into the strap if you want. You can stay here with the knees bent and rock. You can grab ankles, you can grab feet. After you complete it, is there anything else you need? So just taking a moment, check in with yourself. How do you want to rest for your final pose? It might be on the back with a bolster underneath the legs, and maybe you want to just straighten the legs. So if you do straighten the legs, let the bolster be under the back of the knees and supporting the lower thigh just above the knee. Some of you might want to have the knees bent. Some of you might roll over and try to bring the hips pretty close to the wall to go into legs up the wall. So if you are lying down, you can bring your side of your hips and your leg against the wall and then rotate around and have yourself here at Viparita Karani. Other option is a nice one is to sink the hips away and have the feet at the wall and be in the right angle. This helps to release the psoas and also the back. It is really nice to feel the feet and the shins. You find that right angle and you just wait the body to let go. Sometimes if you have a couch or a chair, you can put your legs on a chair or a couch, but if not, the wall works really well. God. Mhm. Just notice as we've come to the end of the practice, we feel the breath here. What was with you when you first arrived? And just checking in, maybe some places have softened, maybe some places are a little bit more aware. Feeling this integration as we just let the release flow through the exhalation. And there's a piece that I want to share with you called community. During a practice in community, energies align. Safety emerges within a collectively held container. Breaths sink, becoming smooth, lengthened in rhythm. Bodies given space to soften, tension unraveling, exhale by exhale. Moments of self-discovery, paths of magic, sparkles highlighting the way. Knots that bind the illusion blur, and listening becomes highlighted. Listening becomes highlighted. You take a couple minutes more just to be here. For this last minute, if there's any part of your body that you can invite just a little bit more of a release into.
Allow your attention just to travel to that spot in your body and breathe into it for a few rounds. Sometimes when we mentally bring in an invitation of a word or a sensation or a feeling that we would like to cultivate, we might feel a widening come in. And notice if the body can let go on an exhale. It might even want to release out the mouth. Feel a few more rounds of breath coming in. And just take note, just feeling the sensation that's present right here as you bring a little bit more mindful attention to your body as a whole. Just want to feel that we come back to this wholeness of integration as we slowly invite in the fingers to wiggle, feel that connection. We enlivened up through the arm into the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And that wiggle of the feet that we explored today that connects to the ankles, to the knees, to the pelvis. And then let upper body and lower body join so you feel that wrapping of the transverse abdominis there, connecting upper body and lower body. And then you bring in any movements that you need to, any transition time that's needed to roll to one side, to pause, to find a seated. Your legs in whatever position supports you. Arms come out to the side, palms face forward. This has been a little bit of a benchmark for us throughout the class. So just want to notice how this feels as we sit on the floor. Feel the pelvis press down into the floor, spine lengthen up all the way through the head. The shoulders and the neck are relaxed. And then as you feel ready, we're going to exhale out the mouth. Inhale, let the arms sweep up. Might even be a gathering of energy as the palms touch and we open ourselves up to receive as we draw a line down through the front of the body. And do that 2 more times. You take your time. On the 3rd time, just pause as the arms come down and let the thumbs rest around the sternum. Feel the shoulders come into a quietness. Separate the shoulder blades a little bit, but keep the heart lifting into your thumbs. The eyes slowly open if they've been closed. Check. Your head is gently lifted. Chin is like it's resting on a ledge. Thank you for being here, sharing yourself, being community.